Good morning everybody, it's Jason here and it's day 50 of my Digging for Antigua project. I haven't done a video for about 12 days and quite a lot's happened in the garden, so I'm going to show you what's been going on. In the last video this pumpkin patch had only just been planted and 12 days later you can see there's been quite some considerable amount of growth. I'm just going to come up a little bit, see some of these individual plants. I think you can make out pretty easily which the different species are. We've got 3 different plants in here. We've got these ones here which are the sweet potatoes. These are the purple varieties with white centres. They're really growing really well. We've got about 3 of those planted in here. They're going to fill this entire area I think with their vines. Then we've got the pumpkins around the outside. You can see they've really started to take off. Distinctive pumpkin leaves, variegated. And then here we have 3 squash plants. So these are butternut squash. So everybody likes butternut I think. Butternut. And yeah, I'm looking forward to them. They're going really well. So the idea here is that these plants will spill out onto the edge and they will cover the land all the way around the outside of this plot. So you see the butternut squash are already traveling that way. The pumpkins haven't developed quite as much, but this one, for example, I'm training it towards that direction. And then these potatoes, sweet potatoes, will fill this middle area. The main part of the garden has changed even more than the pumpkin patch, I think you'll agree. I finished planting most of it yesterday, so a lot of this stuff was planted at the same time as the pumpkin patch, stuff towards this end on the right hand side if you look at this picture, and some other stuff was only planted yesterday. So let's go and have a quick look, or a closer look at some of these plants. Passion fruit vine is really going great guns. I'm kind of hopeful that we might even get passion fruits this year. I don't know whether that's likely, but it's doing really well, and we're starting to train it all around this fence, this wire fence. The rest of this plot is herbs. So here we've got the oregano, that's going great guns. Sorry, not oregano, that's basil. That's oregano, that little one down there. See if I can focus the camera a little bit better. And here we've got some rosemary, some thyme there. We've got garlic, and some of the garlic is actually coming through. I don't know if you can see the shoot there. And then here we have some parsley, and then this area here has been planted directly into the ground, seeds directly in the ground. So at this end we've got onions, don't know if you can see them on the video, then coriander, and then dill. The coriander and the dill, I wasn't so happy with them in pots, so I planted them directly out into the soil now, some seeds a few days ago. Here we've got some more parsley, and this is peppermint, or spearmint, sorry. This is spearmint. And then this area here, I have some more onion which I just planted yesterday. This long row here is my melon patch, or predominantly my melon patch. As you can see I've got 5 of these, which I don't know if you recognise them, they're watermelons. And then there are also some cantaloupes. So if you have a look down the line, the watermelons are close to the edge and the cantaloupes along the other edge along the wall. So those cantaloupes are going to be trained up that fence. That's the idea. And then at the very bottom end I've got some zucchini. 2 of the zucchini seedlings which took a real long time to germinate. I've planted 2 of them out where I only got 2. So the Greek salad patch. You can see here cucumbers are going really good. You can see, if I zone in on some detail here, you can see some flowers in there. There's lots of flowers on these plants. I haven't seen any little fruits yet, but it can't be too long for that. I'm also training those cucumbers up that fence. Here the tomatoes are going really well. These ones are green sweet peppers, more tomatoes, and then some lettuces on the end. And a few onions in there right at the end there. Bed area has got 3 cucumbers. These were planted at the same time as the others in pots, but they've been planted out at a slower time. So you can see the difference in growth. There's about a week difference in planting out from pot into the garden. At the end, some running spinach. This is kale. They're all planted at the same time, but these seedlings were planted out into the ground earlier than these ones, so you can see they're at a slightly different stage. And then here are some peppers. So these are all hot peppers, jalapenos, and a couple of other varieties of peppers. I'm not quite sure what they are. Some more running spinach, which is Malabar spinach. Not actually true spinach, but it's something that's grown locally. And some more peppers. I think these are 3 different varieties of sweet peppers. I think they're probably, red or gold or something like that. We'll see when they come up. And then I planted some carrots and radishes in this bed here, or this section here, straight from seed. So they only went in yesterday, or maybe the day before actually. Second to last is the corn bed. You can see the corn is doing really well. These are like 1.5 foot tall now. The stems have really thickened up, lots of new growth leaves. Planted a few lettuces and onions around that bed on this side as well to fill in the gaps. Just let's go and have a little bit of a close look. If you can see some of the detail on these corns, there's obviously something very interesting going on at the top there. This one here has been, I've just noticed, has been munched by something. Not quite sure what has had a go at that. I hope that doesn't happen more widely to these plants, so to keep an eye on that, maybe spray them with something. I'm not quite sure whether it's birds. I have a suspicion it might be birds. And we've got a couple of squash in here. These are butternut squash. That one particularly is doing very well. The idea is that's going to grow into this area here and produce some squash. And finally, next to the corner at the bottom of the garden, there's these couple of zucchini plants. See, that one's doing pretty well. And there's a slightly smaller one, but slightly greener one there. These are that yellow variety, so looking forward to those. Bear in mind, I've got all the other fruit and veg behind the fence, safe from the dogs. I thought I'd risk some of the extra seedlings I've got in other areas. So you can see there is the papaya, which is doing pretty well. And here is some sweet potatoes. So there's 3 plants here. These are orange skin, orange flesh potatoes. You can see that they have like, I guess like a heart-shaped leaf, clearly forming like a vine. And then here, a slightly different leaf. These have got purple stems. These are the purple sweet potatoes, the ones that, the same as the ones that are planted in the pumpkin patch. So just 3 more plants of those in this area. Some more. I'm probably going to plant some more pumpkins, maybe melons, maybe sweet potatoes around the edge of the garden in a similar way. Well, not quite decided where I'm going to do it, but I'm staggering them. I'm not going to plant them immediately. I think at the moment the idea is to leave those seedlings I've got in the pots in the garden. It kind of delays them, they kind of stunted. And then what seems to have happened with seedlings as I plant them out in the garden is that they suddenly take root, they have more nutrients, they have more space for their roots to grow, and they suddenly start going crazy. So if I leave the other seedlings at least a month between the initial planting, or maybe slightly longer, I should have some crops a month or 2 after the first lot of crops. Or that's the idea anyway. And sometimes they say you should plant seeds in a staggered fashion for that effect, but what I'm doing is I've got mainly seedlings, so I'm just going to plant those out. So I've got tomatoes, peppers, sweet potatoes, pumpkin, melon, that I'm going to try that plant with. So we'll see how that goes over the next weeks. Finish off the video, just a very quick look at my increasingly untidy garage space. These are some of the seedlings that are still left in the tray. These were the dill planted right back on the 20th of March. Same goes for those peppers. I'm just not sure really what to do with them, so they've stayed in those trays. I also planted out more lettuce and zucchini and things. They didn't really come up, still haven't come up. However, these are some orange and lemon seeds that I planted on, as you can see there, the 13th of April. So they've taken a few weeks to come up, but 2 of them over the last few days have started to come up. So these are lemon seedlings, grown from seeds from local lemons. So we'll see how they go. I'm going to plant them up and keep them going. They look pretty healthy. Not quite sure what kind of lemons they're going to give. The lemons that they came from weren't that good, so maybe they're not going to be that good. Sweet potato slip factory is still going strong. Various other little bits and pieces here. I've got some more onion seedlings. These were the 2 mimosas that I got from that Chinese mimosa kit. And then these ones are rosemary that I got from the Chinese kit. So we'll see how they go. Haven't really planted very much else the last few days. So that's it for today's video. Hope you can see that quite a lot's happened in the last 12 days. I will continue to update everybody as to my progress and the progress of the plants in the garden. If anything significant happens, I'll put a video, but other than that, I'm probably not going to do one more than about every once a week. So you can breathe a sigh of relief and you're not going to get daily updates on leaves, new leaves in the garden and the odd little bit of tiny thing that's happened day to day. So everybody, I hope that you do a bit of gardening yourself, plant a few seeds, grow a few seedlings and enjoy it. I've found it a lot more enjoyable than I ever imagined. So keep gardening everyone. Bye for now.